Hey guys, welcome to Complete Revision of Current Affairs series by Tarkashastra. Today we are going to cover current affairs from 28th of February to 6th of March. So let's begin. The first news for today talks about the evacuation of our nationals from Ukraine. So, Government of India launches mission named Operation Ganga to evacuate nationals from Ukraine. Now, there have been quite a few rescue missions or say evacuation missions in recent past. Some of them are Operation Devi Shakti, if you guys remember, Devi Shakti, Samudra Setu, Vande Bharat, Rahat, and so on. So these are some of the recent evacuations or rescue missions that we have undertaken in recent past. You can take a look at the others as well. They become important because they are very recent, and in the light of current evacuation from Ukraine, it could be important for the examination. Okay, so let's take a look at the news. The government of India has launched an evacuation mission named Operation Ganga to evacuate Indian nationals from Ukraine due to the Russia-Ukraine tension. Now we know that Russia and Ukraine are at war. Russia has invaded Ukraine with a lot of military force, and the world is just looking very cautiously at the situations unfolding there, because we are all hoping that it should not turn to a war that is more than between two countries. Okay, so what will happen remains to be seen. We'll see how it unfolds. So here, India has a lot of diaspora in all the countries, mostly all the countries of the world, right? Wherever we go, at least the countries which offer opportunities which are similar or cheaper with respect to Indian scenario, we find that Indians go there, make take education, make businesses, and create wealth. Okay, so this term is basically called as diaspora. Okay, so wherever the people are, the people of the country being distributed throughout the world, those people in that demography are called as diaspora. And there are a lot of Indian nationals who go to study medicine in Russia, Ukraine, even in Philippines. Okay, so this is one such scenario where our students were just left stranded because even the country Ukraine could not do anything. Ukraine could not do much. So here it is the role of international politics of how to handle the situations arising out of wars between two countries, and other countries have to apply pressure to these two countries, Russia and Ukraine, to at least allow evacuation or something of that sort. So this is high level political talk that will help us evacuate all of our students. We are through Operation Ganga, we are turn by turn we are trying to evacuate as many people as possible. Okay, the basic problem here was that it was declared a no-fly zone. Okay, Ukraine was declared a no-fly zone because there is heavy shelling and bombarding from Russian side. So obviously, we don't want our own people, we are going to rescue them, and the rescue team is also getting hurt and all. So that is not ideal, and that's why it is taking a little bit of time as compared to some other rescue operations which happened a little bit more swiftly, simply because the situations on ground were not as bad as they are in Ukraine. So let's stay tuned and we can see how it is going on. Next. Ministry of Education launches Bhasha Certificate Selfie. Now, this is very important because in the global context, English is something that rules. Even this video is in English, right? It has become something that is an identity of a posh, polished person. However, we should not ever ignore our culture, right? Our language is a part of our culture, and we should take pride in our language just like the other European countries do, right? English comes from England, but then the rest of the countries like Italian, Spanish, German, they have not given up their language. And that's why, even though for India it's a necessity being a service industry, and knowing that English is what even is most widely spoken in professional circles in India, we still should focus on our own cultural aspects as well. And that's why Ministry of Education has, with that end in mind, brought out Bhasha Certificate Selfie campaign. Okay, so what is in it? It is a certificate to promote Bhasha Sangam mobile app, and it is basically under which project? Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. The idea behind this project is to encourage cultural diversity and promote multilingualism. So via this particular app, by taking these certificates, you can at least speak some commonly used phrases, around 200 commonly used phrases in each of the major languages that are present in India. Okay. So a very interesting thing, if you have not taken a look at this app, maybe if you're interested in learning some particular language of India, you can go ahead and take a look. Current affairs in short for this particular bit. Cochin Airport to become power positive with new solar plant. To become power positive. Now it means what? That whatever they are doing, they are power surplus. Power surplus means if they are taking, suppose they are setting up a solar plant, they are supposed producing 100 watts, for example. 100 watts they are producing, but they are only using 80 watts. So basically what they can do is they can sell this 20 watt difference to the grid, national power grid, and they can make a profit out of it. So here basically it is a renewable source of energy, right? And that's why it is a positive news. Okay. The Cochin International Airport Limited, CIAL, is set to commission a 12 megawatt power plant, solar power plant on March 6 near Payanur in Kannur district of Kerala. Where? Kerala. Okay. Kannur district is more famously known. Payanur may or may not be that important for you guys. Okay. With the commissioning of the new solar power plant, CIAL will get the status as a power positive airport from its current status of being power neutral. So far, if 100 watt was being generated, 100 watt was being used. That's why it was a power neutral. Okay. Not positive or negative. Okay. Negative कैसे होगा? If we are saying some facilities power negative, it means what? Suppose they are producing 100 watts, but they need 120 watts. So 20 watts is the negative power that they are requiring. Why negative? Because they are asking it from somebody else, right? They are taking it from someone else. Now here positive means they are giving back power to these infrastructure. Okay. The power plant boasts of 12 megawatt capacity on a 35-acre land. Now, obviously, we need a better setup. Why? Because it is a solar power plant. Okay, so we definitely need more land in order to make this possible. Okay. What another interesting term here is that terrain-based installation. So terrain-based installation is another sustainable activity. It means that you are not disturbing the terrain at all. Terrain means the natural features. तो कहीं पे थोड़ा सा हिलॉक है, कहीं पे थोड़ा सा पॉन्ड टाइप का बना हुआ है अगर आपकी लैंड पे, ठीक है, तो इसको आप कहेंगे टेरेन. यहाँ पे सपोज पॉन्ड है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा हिलॉक है. Then we have some other geographical features. Maybe there could be some huge rocks and all. So we don't disturb them. We don't change them as per our requirement. We just build around all these natural, features. That is called terrain-based installation. I hope this is clear. Okay. So this particular power plant will be based on terrain-based installation, and the geographical areas will be retained. Next, New Development Bank, first multilateral agency to open office in Gift City. Okay, Gift City. Now, this is a very important city. We'll take a look at it shortly. Now, what is multilateral agency? Having many players. Okay. So, just a bilateral between two is called bilateral. Multilateral means अगर यहाँ पे और भी बहुत सारे हैं, more than a few players. So it could be even 3, but it is 3 has a term called trilateral, or quadrilateral is also a term. So you can say more than 5 or more than 5 people, then it is called multilateral usually. New Development Bank will become the first multilateral agency to open an office in the Gujarat International Finance Tech City. This is very important. Why? Because a lot of finance tech is situated in this particular city. This city has been created for that purpose only, and that's why its name is Gujarat International Finance Tech City. So here, what we are saying is there are a lot of international agencies, but NDB is the first multilateral agency. Multilateral agency meaning a lot of players, and here it means a lot of countries. Okay, so NDB is basically the bank set up by which international body? NDB. If no one knows, it's BRICS. Okay, so NDB is a bank that is operated by and developed by BRICS. BRICS is a trading block. Okay, you do good to find even about ADB and some other banks that are international banks that are important to India are World Bank and IMF. Okay, for many infrastructure projects and all, we do take help from NDB, ADB, WB, and IMF. Okay. So coming back to the news, Gujarat International Finance Tech City में NDB is the first multilateral agency that has opened its shop. The Indian office will help identify suitable projects and try to create a pipeline of potential financing for the bank. Okay. NDB also expects to partner with new and development to support crucial infra projects in India. So majority of these banks help us in our infrastructure because India is not a country where we are requiring money to run our day-to-day expenses. So our chief agenda is development of infrastructure because it gives a major boost to economy and quality of life of people. Okay, so majority of our international debts will lie in this category where we are trying to build infrastructure. Next, Canada approved world's first. We can take a look at. First of all, it is plant based. So less chemicals and more sustainable, most likely. Okay, so there's a movement of anti-vaxxers in countries like US, UK, and they tend to disbelieve something like a vaccine or allopathic medicine in general. And we, as a cultural aspect of our upbringing, we believe more on naturopathy. So even in India, a lot of people were against vaccine initially, and this was one particular aspect why they were against vaccine, because vaccines are chemicals. They eventually did take it because India also is a very pliable country with respect to technological improvements and all. But again, there was just like anti-vaxxers in US who are very staunch against not taking any kind of vaccine. In India, for particularly COVID vaccine, since it was developed in a shorter period and all, and some people just don't feel comfortable using vaccines as the first resort to something, we also had some kind of resistance to it. And that's why something that is plant derived will help a lot. Why? Because we know that COVID is explosive in terms of its progression. And something being plant based यानी फिर anti-vaxxers का जो agenda है कि we are not going to put chemicals in our body, maybe that can be sorted with this. Now this is not to say that we should have this kind of fits and tantrums and we can't have an alternative plant based vaccine for anything, but at least for now, in order to control the further spread, or you can say that further resistance in COVID virus, it is important that majority people, most people, or rather all people get vaccinated. So for now, it could be a solution. Okay. Now, what is the nature of vaccine? It is 2 dose, and this is even not important, of Medicago Inc. Okay. It is a biopharma company owned by Mitsubishi Chemical and Philip Morris. So this could be given to adults between 18 to 64. Okay. अभी फिलहाल इनका इतना ही रिसर्च हुआ है. So this is all about this particular vaccine. Next, Madhavi Puri Buch named as the first woman chief of SEBI. First, तो हमें पता है कि first is important, again person of interest because she is a news. Okay. Former ICICI banker Madhavi Puri Buch has been appointed as the new Securities and Exchange Board of India chairman, replacing Ajay Tyagi. She is first woman chief of SEBI and also the first non-IAS to head the regulatory body. So this becomes a very big achievement. Why? Because so far we are seeing that a lot of bureaucratic control over some financial maybe the PSUs and the financial institutions or technical PSUs. This is what an argument a lot of people have been giving for a very long time. So this seems like one step in that particular direction, where bureaucratization is being, you can say, reduced, and therefore people who are more capable could probably come in power. This is, however, one example in a lot of appointments where we still have bureaucrats. Okay. She has over 3 decades of experience in financial markets and was SEBI whole-time member between April 2017 to October 2021. During her tenure at SEBI, she handled portfolios such as surveillance, collective investment schemes, and investment management. So please remember the name Madhavi Puri Buch. NSE and BSE start T+1 stock settlement from February 21. This is very important. Why? Because India has become the second country after China to implement T+1 stock settlement. Okay. In a phased manner. Phased manner यानी पहले हम कुछ institutes cover करेंगे, फिर कुछ और फिर कुछ. So we are going to progressively increase the basically the domain of this particular mechanism. Okay. The system will be starting with select stocks and then gradually adding others to the field. So that is phased manner. Okay. Instruction regarding this was issued by SEBI on January 2022. Before this, the settlement period of stocks in India was T+2, that is 2 days after the actual buy and sell of a stock. Now that means if I buy a stock today, so the settlement will happen in 2 days as per the older system. But now we are moving towards a system where the settlement will happen in 1 day. So I only have to wait for 1 day in case I'm selling the stock. To get my money back, I only have to wait for 1 day. Okay. So that is what basically this is. So the instruction came in January, we actually have started implementing it now. So that's why this is news now. Again, there is a lot of current affairs and sports for this particular week, but a lot of it is not that important. So we have covered some which I found to be important. Okay. So Singapore Weightlifting International 2020. India secures 8 medals. So this seems like it is another boxing for us. Why? Because we are doing really good in boxing. And now it seems like even in weightlifting, we could have really good breakthrough in terms of number of medals. We've had really good weightlifters from India, but we were just not on the map of weightlifting per se so far. Okay. India concluded its campaign at Singapore Weightlifting International with 8 medals, including 6 golds, which is a very big achievement. Usually we have bronzes. Okay, usually we have bronzes, and let's hope that this translates into some Olympic golds for us too, eventually, and a silver and a bronze each. So that's all for this particular news. Okay. अभी इससे क्या होगा कि they have secured their spots in Birmingham 2020 Commonwealth Games. Important. Again, in Commonwealth we have a good tally, but we don't really get a lot of golds even in Commonwealth. जितना हम लोग मतलब given the population ratio and all, so we should be focusing more on the sports which are our specialty, and maybe we can have more golds. Next, Rafael Nadal wins Mexican Open 2022. In tennis, Rafael Nadal, Spain, beat British #1 Cameron Norrie to win singles title of Mexican Open 2022, also known as Acapulco title. Okay, this is the 90 and you can like depending on which top 3 में से आप किसके fan हो उसके हिसाब से आपके लिए वो particular player good होगा, but for me I will not give my preference rather. I think moving on. Delhi cabinet approved India's first e-waste eco park. Again, why? Because it is India's first. The Delhi cabinet has approved setting up India's first of its kind electronic waste eco park. It has also agreed to devise Delhi film policy, a thirst to promote tourism. Okay, the electronic making it into some kind of ecologically harmless, like installations or maybe some reuse and refurbishing kind of thing. So more to come on this. Next, Russia destroyed the largest plane in the world, Mia. So when war comes, it destroys a lot of things, and cultural destruction or a destruction of some technological grandeur is really heartbreaking. And here Russia has destroyed Mria, which means dream in Ukrainian language. Russian invasion to Ukraine, Russia destroyed the largest airplane in the world called Ukraine's Antonov 225 cargo plane. Okay, this is the largest plane in the world, and that's why it is so sad that it has gotten destroyed. The plane was destroyed outside Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine. According to weapons manufacturer Ukroboronprom, restoring AN-225 Mria would cost over USD 3 billion and could take over 5 years. Such a massive, such a massive destruction. The aircraft was unique to the world. Furthermore, sadness. And AN-225 aircraft was located at Hostomel Airport, where Russia launched an attack. Okay, understand that it is made up of two terms, bank and Saki, right? Bank and Saki. So if you come across such terms, you can take a look or you can try to understand what it is about just by looking at the words. Collaboration with Mahagram and Sunivesh India Finance Services. किसने किया है? Bank of Maharashtra in Odisha. This much is important. Quantum key distribution tech tested by DRDO successfully between Vindhyachal and Prayagraj. Okay. A team of scientists for the first time in the country from Defense Research and Development Organization and the Indian Institute of Technology IIT Delhi successfully demonstrated a quantum key distribution link, okay, between Prayagraj and Vindhyachal spanning over 100 kilometers. Quantum key distribution is what? It is a secure communication tech method that allows that uses quantum physics to construct a cryptographic protocol. So basically, a cryptographic protocol is what allows you to encrypt and decrypt messages between 2 points of contact. Okay, it also allows two parties to generate a shared secret key. अभी encrypt किया है तो decrypt करने के लिए whatever algorithm या whatever logic was used, that should be clearly known to the other party. Otherwise, your message will not mean anything to them. Okay. So that's why we can encryption and how it is done. So हमें वैसे ही decrypt करते आते हैं. अभी इसमें quantum key distribution will become difficult to hack in these kind of systems. Next, Pooja Jatian becomes the first Indian to win a silver in para archery world championship. Again, why important? Because she's the first Indian to win what? A silver in para archery world championship. Para archer Pooja Jatian has scripted history as she became the first Indian to win a silver in an individual section of para world championships in Dubai. She lost to Italy's Patrilli Vincenza in the final to be content with the silver medal. Next, US, EU, UK decided to eliminate selected Russian banks from SWIFT. This is a very important news with respect to understanding how international banking works. So maybe you can take a look at SWIFT once. Canada, US, and European allies have come to a conclusion to remove the key Russian banks, okay, very important, key Russian banks from interbanking messaging system of SWIFT. This is a very big step that will cut off the country from much of the worldwide financial system. Okay, it could be a a reaction, or it could be rather a blow in order to weaken Russia and its war war activities that are going on in Ukraine. Without money, you can't do anything. So maybe this is one way of trying to do that. The major global powers issued a joint statement announcing this significant retaliatory measure. Retaliation हो रहा है यहाँ पे. This will ensure that these banks are disconnected from international financial systems and harm their ability to operate globally. Russia's removal from SWIFT will mean that the Russian banks will not be able to communicate securely with foreign banks. The SWIFT stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications and is independent enterprise which is based in Belgium. So this could become very important for you, right? Because this is directly related to banking and finance. SWIFT serves as an internal communication mechanism between around 11,000 banks and financial institutions for more than 200 countries and territories. So this is basically the single most largest system that we are using. Here you can also think in this one particularly, you can take a break here for a minute and think of all the in the consequences of this. ठीक है कि क्या क्या consequences है. अभी रशिया पे अगर ये मतलब इस टाइप का एक हम लोगों ने, you can say it is kind of like an embargo or kind of like sanction only, right? तो अगर ये हुआ है रशिया के साथ कि जहाँ पे स्विफ्ट से उनको हटा दिया, तो what could be the impact and consequences of this? You can think about it. This could become a big. Government of India think tank Niti Aayog developing national policy decisions. Okay, that's all. Actually, that is more important. So, national gender index बना नहीं है, बनने वाला है. Okay. Next, Assam government declared the entire state as a disturbed area. Okay, AFSPA is something that we are struggling with. Whether it's useful, not useful, required, not required, is remains a debate. The Assam government has extended the contentious Armed Forces Powers Act, a Special Powers Act, in the state for 6 more months. Okay. Initially, it was the Assam Disturbed Area Act during the agitation by Nagas. This is how it came into picture and gave free hand to some extent to army to deal with people who are indulging in Naga terrorism. Okay. So, abhi AFSPA was imposed in Assam in November 1990 and has been extended every 6 months. So, basically, वो हटा ही नहीं है वहां से. जब से 1990 से लगा है तब से वो 6 months extend होते जा रहे हैं. Okay. Now, T.S. Ramakrishnan named as new MD and CEO of LIC Mutual Fund. Again, a person in news. Okay, so know the picture, know the person, and know the name. LIC Mutual Fund has announced the appointment of T.S. Ramakrishnan as its managing director and CEO. Okay, that's it. Next, CDSL becomes the first depository to register more than 60 million DMAT accounts. Okay. On the 1st of March 2022, the Central Depository Services in India announced that it now has more than 6 crores active DMAT accounts. Okay, ये active word बहुत important है. That means कि 6 crore people are indulging, more or less 6 crore people, okay, are indulging in trading, which is a very high number. Okay. A demat account is what? It is a dematerialized account. Dematerialized यानी material form में नहीं है कुछ आपके पास, वो non-material form में. Okay. The main purpose of a demat account is to keep shares that have been bought or dematerialized, making online share trading easier for its user. Because the sole listed depository in India is this one, Central Depository Services India Limited, CDSL. इसका मतलब क्या है? CDSL अकेला है जिसमें सारे 6 करोड़ जो एक्टिव अकाउंट्स है वो है. सिंपल, राइट? Google and MIT to train 100 Indian startups under App Skill Academy program. Okay, the MIT Startup Hub. Yeah, MIT is basically Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. This is what we call as MIT. Okay, and Google have announced a cohort of 100 early to mid-stage Indian startups as a part of App Skill Academy program. इसमें उनको जो स्टार्टअप्स है उनको ट्रेनिंग दिया जाएगा, फाइनेंसेस के बारे में जानकारी दी जाएगी. A lot of industrial heads and tech heads will guide them with respect to how to upscale their own businesses. Knight Frank, India ranks 3rd in billionaire population globally, so we can conclude that India is a poor country of rich people. Okay, poor country of rich people. Poor country of rich people. This could also be a topic of debate. India is ranked 3rd in terms of most number of billionaires population globally. Okay, as per Knight and Frank's latest edition of the wealth report. कितने billionaires हैं हमारे पास? 145. ठीक है, increased by 11%. And this is very surprising because we are just coming out of a pandemic. ठीक है, और इनको क्या कहते हैं? अल्ट्रा हाई नेट वर्थ इंडिविजुअल्स. कट ऑफ क्या है? कैसे हम बिलियनियर्स को मतलब बिलियनियर्स कैसे कहते हैं? ऑन व्हाट बेसिस? एसेट्स ऑफ मोर देन 30 मिलियन यूएस डॉलर्स. ठीक है, या फिर मोर देन 226 करोड़. Okay, so this is the cutoff to come in this list. Indian Air Force to conduct exercise Vayu Shakti at Pokhran range. Last time also in the last video I have mentioned that a lot of military exercises will be taking place. So you should know exactly which military exercise does what, especially when it is a joint exercise between India and some other country or countries. Okay, so please take a look at that. The most important thing is Rafale aircraft will be the participatory aircraft in this particular exercise for the very first time. NASA launches next generation GOES-T satellite to track hazardous weather. It is very important, especially with respect to US, because they suffer from a lot of hurricanes and typhoons, and it creates a lot of destruction and kills people. So it makes sense that they are much more worried about tracking hazardous weather. Okay. क्या होगा? Geostationary operational environmental satellite GOES. ठीक है, from Cape Canaveral they have launched. And the Cape Canaveral station comes in Florida. Okay, the satellite is named as GOES-T. Okay, and it will be renamed from GOES-T to GOES-18. So in case you come across this option, this is still valid. Okay, किस लिए use होगा? It will be used by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to forecast weather and hazardous environmental conditions. Next. Ministry of Women and Child Development launches Stree Manuraksha project. So यहाँ पे भी अगर आप देखो, as I said, कि हम लोग words को use करके देख सकते हैं. मनोरक्षा यानी मनो मतलब मन, ठीक है, psychology, and raksha means protection. So basically this news talks about this Stree Manuraksha project, which is basically trying to understand the mental health of women and the typical problems associated with women's mental health. Okay. So it will concentrate on the ability of one-stop centers. Basically, these are the centers where one can walk in and get the service that is required for them. Okay, especially for people who have experienced violence and distress. Okay, so here we are expecting mental support to such people and mental therapy. Okay, so abhi kitna hai? There are already 700 one-stop centers, which we all really are not aware about. So we should probably take a look at this. Why it is more important? Because since the social, professional, personal life is very much gendered in its approach, women face different type of stress than men face, and they are also shouldering undue burden in terms of professional and personal responsibility, and therefore they have a different kind of mechanism that fails them, right? And that's why we are trying to set this mechanism and make it a little bit more gender neutral, but it is not possible if we don't take care of the the very specific women related issues. DST tie up with Intel India to boost AI readiness. ठीक है, what is DST? Department of Science and Technology. तो हम क्या करेंगे अभी इंडिया मतलब artificial intelligence readiness among young innovators is important because AI is unavoidable in future. ठीक है, so we need more people who can innovate in this particular field, right? We are a service-based industry or economy, and we have to be a step ahead at least in terms of providing solutions, and AI solutions will be what is required. ठीक है, अब ये कैसे करेंगे? The program aims to build digital readiness among students from classes 6 to 10 enrolled under DST's Inspire Awards Manak scheme. Okay, so this is not particularly important, but maybe you can use it a little bit here and there. SVG Index 2021, India ranks on 120th position. So SDGs काफी मतलब हमारे सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स हैं जो हमने इंटरनेशनली सबने कॉमनली डिसाइड करके बनाए हुए हैं यूएन के थ्रू, एंड इन गोल्स को हम लोग ट्राई करें हर कंट्री इनको अचीव करने के लिए. ठीक है, व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस? who's the topper? Finland. What is India's ranking? 120th position. Okay, last year India का rank कितना था? 117. So basically we have slipped. Okay, and this score is not important, but you can just take a look at it. What are the top 5 countries? Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, and Belgium. Okay, so all small countries and Nordic area के around या फिर European area के around. ठीक है, that's all for today's session, guys. I request you to take a look at our other YouTube sources and other videos, and I also request you to take a look at us if you are planning to join your dream B school or you are planning to appear for management examinations. We also cater to GRE and GMAT. Okay, that's all from us. Please do subscribe and hit like if you like the video. If there are any suggestions or requests, please let us know in the comment section. See you. Bye bye.